What if I told you one of the greatest financial strategies ever created wasn't invented on Wall Street, it wasn't taught in business school, and it didn't come from a billionaire entrepreneur. It came from a man who started with absolutely nothing, a man who was betrayed by his own family, sold into slavery, thrown into prison, and then became the architect of one of the greatest economic success stories in history. His name was Joseph. Most people know his story. Very few understand his financial strategy. Yet the principles Joseph used thousands of years ago are still helping people today. Escape debt, stop living paycheck to paycheck, build financial freedom, and create lasting wealth. Not because they're secret formulas, not because they're get-rich-quick schemes, but because they're built on timeless wisdom, God's wisdom. Stay with me until the end, because I'll show you exactly how Joseph's strategy worked. How ordinary people have unknowingly applied these same principles to become debt-free and financially independent. And most importantly, how you can begin using this biblical blueprint in your own life today. Let's begin. Joseph's story didn't begin in a palace. It began in hardship. He was betrayed by his own brothers, sold as a slave, falsely accused, thrown into prison for years. His circumstances looked hopeless. No savings, no possessions, no freedom, no influence. Yet Joseph remained faithful. He continued serving God, even when life made no sense. Then one day, everything changed. The Pharaoh of Egypt had two disturbing dreams. No one could explain them. Not the magicians, not the advisors, not even the wisest men in the kingdom. Someone remembered Joseph, the Hebrew prisoner who could interpret dreams through the wisdom of God. Joseph was brought before Pharaoh. He listened carefully. Then he said something remarkable. The interpretation belongs to God. Joseph explained that the 7 healthy cows and 7 full heads of grain represented 7 years of extraordinary abundance. The 7 thin cows and the withered grain represented 7 years of devastating famine that would follow. But Joseph didn't stop there. He didn't simply predict the future. He presented a strategy. He told Pharaoh, during the 7 years of abundance, appoint wise leaders over the land. Collect 1/5 of the harvest every year. Store it safely. Protect it. Prepare while times are good. Because when famine comes, those reserves will save the nation. That advice changed the history. Pharaoh immediately recognized that God's wisdom was with Joseph. He placed Joseph in charge of the entire economy of Egypt. Think about that for a moment. Joseph didn't become wealthy because he inherited money. He wasn't born into a wealthy family. He didn't win the lottery. He didn't get lucky. He became successful because he possessed wisdom that solved a massive problem. And here's a principle that still applies today. The marketplace rewards people who solve problems. The bigger the problem you solve, the greater your value becomes. And the greater your value becomes, the greater your earning potential. Doctors solve health problems. Teachers solve learning problems. Engineers solve technical problems. Farmers solve hunger. Business owners solve everyday frustrations. Joseph solved an economic crisis. That's why he became one of the most powerful men on earth. Now notice something else. Joseph didn't tell Egypt to spend everything while times were good. He didn't encourage people to celebrate every harvest with bigger lifestyles. He didn't tell Pharaoh to build larger palaces or throw endless parties. Instead, he taught delayed gratification. Save first, spend later, prepare today for tomorrow. That's completely opposite from the world we live in. Today, we're constantly told, you deserve it. Buy now, pay later, upgrade, treat yourself. But Joseph's strategy was different. Live below your means, save consistently, prepare before disaster arrives. Thousands of years later, financial experts still teach these same principles because wisdom never goes out of style. Listen to what Proverbs says. The wise store up choice food and olive oil, but fools gulp theirs down. That's exactly what Joseph practiced. He understood something many people never learn. It's not how much money you make. It's how faithfully you manage what you already have. Think about this. If someone can't manage $1,000 wisely, why would God entrust them with 1 million? Stewardship always comes before increase, and that's one of the greatest biblical principles about wealth. Now, let's fast forward to today. Millions of families are living paycheck to paycheck. Not because they're lazy. Many work incredibly hard. Some work 2 jobs. Others work overtime every week. Yet they're still financially stressed. Why? Often because every increase in income is matched by an increase in spending. It's called lifestyle inflation. Joseph never allowed abundance to become an excuse for bigger spending. He turned abundance into preparation. That one decision protected an entire nation. Financial expert Dave Ramsey has shared thousands of stories from people buried under mountains of debt. One family owed more than $460,000. Imagine waking up every morning knowing you owe nearly $500,000. Many people would lose hope. Instead, they changed their habits. They created a budget, stopped buying things they didn't need, sold possessions, worked additional jobs, saved consistently. Month after month, year after year, they slowly eliminated every debt. Today, they're completely debt-free. What changed? Not luck, not winning the lottery, not a secret investment. Their habits changed, just like Joseph. Another lesson Joseph teaches is that preparation creates peace. Imagine 2 families. Both earn the same income. The first family spends everything they make. The second family saves consistently. Then one day, both families lose their jobs. Who sleeps peacefully? The one who prepared. Preparation doesn't eliminate storms. Preparation helps you survive them. Joseph understood that. That's why Egypt became the only nation with food during the famine. People traveled from surrounding countries to buy grain, including Joseph's own brothers. The very brothers who had sold him into slavery years earlier. Isn't that incredible? The pain that nearly destroyed Joseph became the path God used to position him for purpose. Sometimes the setback you're experiencing today is actually preparation for tomorrow's assignment. But there's another truth hidden in Joseph's story. Joseph never worshipped wealth. Money wasn't his purpose. God was. Joseph remained faithful whether he was a slave, a prisoner, or the second most powerful man in Egypt. His identity never changed. His character never changed. His dependence on God never changed. That's the difference between biblical wealth and worldly wealth. The goal isn't to become rich for selfish reasons. The goal is faithful stewardship, to provide for your family, to bless others, to support God's work, to help those in need, to create opportunities for future generations. Money is a tool, not a master. Jesus himself warned that no one can serve both God and money. Joseph never confused the two. Now, let's make this practical. How can you begin applying Joseph's strategy today? First, know where your money goes. Create a written budget. Every dollar should have an assignment. Second, pay yourself first. Save before you spend, even if it's only a small amount. Consistency matters more than size. Third, build an emergency fund. Life will always bring unexpected expenses. Preparation turns emergencies into inconveniences instead of disasters. Fourth, avoid unnecessary debt. Every payment you owe someone else limits your future freedom. Fifth, invest in yourself. Learn valuable skills, read books, take courses, practice your craft. The more value you create, the more opportunities you'll have. Sixth, invest consistently for the future. Wealth is rarely built overnight. It's usually built one wise decision at a time. And finally, seek God's wisdom above everything else. Joseph's greatest asset wasn't his intelligence. It wasn't his position. It wasn't his connections. It was God's wisdom. That wisdom turned a prisoner into a prime minister. It transformed famine into opportunity. And it changed history forever. Imagine where you could be 5 years from now if you began applying these principles today. Imagine living without the constant stress of debt. Imagine having savings instead of anxiety. Imagine being able to help others without worrying about your own finances. Imagine leaving an inheritance for your children. Imagine having the freedom to give generously because you planned wisely. That's the power of biblical stewardship, not overnight riches, but lasting freedom. Joseph's story isn't just history, it's a blueprint. Prepare before the crisis. Save consistently. Live below your means. Solve meaningful problems. Stay faithful to God. Manage wisely. Serve generously. Because true wealth isn't measured only by what's in your bank account. It's measured by your faithfulness, your peace, your generosity, and your trust in God. As Proverbs reminds us, the plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty. If this message encouraged you, please subscribe to Wealth Through Wisdom. Every week, we explore timeless biblical principles that help ordinary people build extraordinary lives through God's wisdom. Share this video with someone who's struggling financially. It may be the encouragement they need to begin changing their future, one wise decision at a time. And remember, when God's wisdom leads, true wealth follows.